Shalom, Yasharala. We'll start out by giving infinite honors to our Heavenly Father and our great King, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops, a great millstone, and salutation to our fellow laborers in the Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, pushing the blood truth across the four winds. Shalom, one of you brothers. I came across this clip over there. A clip. Well, this is the equivalent to Good Morning America over there in Great Britain. And they're interviewing the president of Ghana, and this guy is drunk off of Western philosophies, asking for reparations from the atrocities committed to our people. And this is what happens when you are westernized, all right? Getting reparations is something that's taught in the so-called white man's educational system, all right? In the ancient world, before the so-called white man came in power, it was always an eye for eye, tooth for a tooth. You take mine, I'm going to take yours. That was the ways of war in the ancient world. That was the ways of war before the so-called white man came into power. This reparation thing, I come in your country, I kill your son, I rape your daughters, all right? I conquer you, I westernize you, I Hellenize you, all right? And then later down the line, I give you a few bones to ease your pain. Come on, man, that's a cunning trick of the enemy. And our people fall for it, just like this president. This president, he make a lot of valid points, you know. He doesn't come across like a full-fledged coon, all right? Really, he's not a coon, but he's still dealing with controversy the way that the so-called white man taught him. And he seems so-called educated according to this society, and the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. All right? The way we're going to get recompense from the so-called white man, we don't want his money. We don't want his gold, because that's our gold. All he's going to be doing is paying you back what's yours, giving you what's rightfully yours. Nah, we want to do him what he did us, okay? We want to do his daughters what he did our daughters. We want to deal with his sons how he dealt with our sons. Now, we're not going to do that bug-breaking shit that they did, but we're going to make them work for no light to no light. All right? They're going to go on grass diets. I heard Elder Yashawama say that one day. All right? They're gonna get dealt with maliciously and treacherously in righteousness. Okay? You know, I don't know if malicious and righteous go together, but hey, they're going to reap what they've sown, okay? All of that 400 years of captivity, all the things they did during the time of the Romans and the Greeks, all right? All the things that they did since they took that yoke that King David had on them, and they took it off, and they just been wreaking havoc on the planet Earth since then, all right? The things that they did when they came out of the caves and during the after the dark ages and came into power in the Renaissance period, they're going to reap what they sown, and they're going to get what they've given to others. That's the way they're going to get dealt with. All right, but for edification's sake, I'm going to let this clip play, and I'm going to funnel it through the scripture, show how the president is going off, and you're going to see how lofty and arrogant these devils are. They don't think it's going to happen to them. The guy that's interviewing, he's fucking funny with his arrogance and sarcastic humor. All right, I'm about to let it play.
Stand by, because we have a president waiting, and that is the president of Guyana. Now, this is a really interesting story because he is backing the growing calls for descendants of slave traders from the UK to pay significant reparations to right historical wrongs. He's demanding that those involved in the transatlantic slave trade be posthumously charged for crimes against humanity.
This is a big topic at the moment. It's being discussed around the world. Ghanaian President Mohamed Irfan Ali joins us live now from New York, where he's going to be addressing world leaders at the UN General Assembly on this subject later today. So we've got in early with you. Okay, let me ask you a question, Mr. President, on behalf of all of our viewers who would be covered by this. Why should somebody who maybe had an ancestor 7 or 8 generations ago, long before they were a twinkle in their great-great-great-great-grandparents' eye, why should they have to pay now for what an ancient ancestor did? Or why should they apologize for what an ancestor did centuries ago? Why do they still carry that burden?
You see, now this guy, he's gonna answer it intellectually according to society. But hey, the Lord wants what's past. All right, things written aforetime was written for our learning. All right, and what was written aforetime for our learning is that the sons are gonna get judged for the sins of the fathers. You goddamn devil.
Oh, it's not a burden at all. You are one of the beneficiary of that slave trade.
Yes.
So this is not a burden. You should be concerned, and you should pay, because you today are still benefiting from the greatest indignity to a human being, and that is the slave trade. And not only did you benefit during the slave trade and your country developed, but look at what it caused the developing world. During slavery, resources was used to build your country, build up your capacity. You were able to then become competitive. You were able to invest in mechanization, and developing countries like ours were left behind. So you should be very concerned, because you are a prime beneficiary of the exploits of slavery.
So put a figure on it, please, because it always comes down to the bottom line. How much should an individual taxpayer in a country like the
when he's saying how much, come on, let's show him what how much should be. All right, this guy's gonna give his answer, but let's see what the Holy Bible has to say on how much. All right, let me get Exodus 21. Okay, let's see what the Holy Bible has to say about how much. Okay, it's Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man, all right, we were stolen from the western coast of Africa, some of the interior, northwest of Africa, the interiors, just all over the land of Ham, all right? We were stolen, all right, and bought here as captive slaves, okay? And selleth him, and we were sold to our captors, all right? Or if he be found in his hand, we're still in the hand of our captors. The reason we're over here in America is because we were stolen here. We're the descendants of those people that were stolen. So we're still in the so-called white man's hand. These devils and 2/3 of our people don't understand time and judgment. Okay? Then they've never been judged for that calamity. So the sons and daughters are gonna have to cast a check that their forefathers wrote, okay, in blood. And he shall surely be put to death, okay? And they're going to get put to death, and they're going to be put in hardcore slavery. Let me skip down a little bit, okay? Verse 22, if men strive and hurt a woman with child, what did they used to do to our women? They would take our women, cut our women belly open and use it as alligator bait, okay? So that her fruit depart from her. They used to kill our children. All right, they used to use them as alligator bait. When they was bringing us across seas, and if the weight was too heavy on those boats, they'll just throw our children overboard. They would throw people overboard. Okay, they showed that on that movie. I forgot that movie. Amistad, I think that's the name of it. Okay, and yet no mischief followed. He shall be surely punished, according as the woman or her husband will lay upon him. And the woman and the husband, men normally want death. You kill one of ours, we want to kill one of yours. And he shall pay as the judges determine. All right? And if any mischief follow, thou shalt give life for life. Okay? This is how we rocking. This is how much it costs, white boy. Life for life, white boy. That's the answer. Now old boy, he's gonna give you the answer that's formidable for your system, because he's Western 9 times out of 10 educated in some Western center for higher learning, okay? But this is the judgment. And if any mischief followed, okay, most definitely. Then thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. All right? That's the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. You ain't going to get out of this, you're not going to get out of this, this hole you dug. you're going to get judged for the way you dealt treacherously with our people. Let's get back to it. Hope damn, it's some bullshit.
Figure on it, please, because it always comes down to the bottom line. How much should an individual taxpayer in a country like the UK be signing a cheque to a country like yours, Ghana?
Well, it's easy to calculate. We can use the time value of money. You can look at the period of slavery and the contribution not the contribution, the extraction of wealth from countries like ours, and how it was utilized to build your society, build your country, create wealth in your country, and then add the time value of money, and you will get the value. There's a lot of research paper on this. A lot of universities would have done paper on this. There's enough literature to tell us what that value is. But I want to say that it is not only the value, it is a loss of time. It is a loss of competitiveness. It is a loss of human dignity. It is a loss of our education system. It is a culture that we lost. It is all of this indignity that surrounded slavery that we must consider.
I just wonder, people will be wondering what, you explained that there are calculations, but are you able to say in what measure that would be? I mean, are we talking billions, millions? What would you expect the payout to be, and over what period of time?
Well, this year in Guyana, we commemorate the 200th anniversary of the Demerara Rebellion. And it took 200 years to get an apology from one of the families. I don't believe that you would want us to wait 200 years for reparative justice and for us to take this conversation forward. CARICOM would have set out a 10-point plan on what should constitute reparative justice and what should constitute reparation. And the calculation goes into billions for the region.
How far back, though, do we have to go on this? Because you make the point, we're talking exclusively here about Western imperialistic slavery, to summarize it. But almost every civilization on the planet owes its existence and its prosperity almost always to crimes in the past, be they aggressive wars, be they different forms of slavery involving different movements of population. You can go right back to the Greeks and the Romans. Why just target one particular era in history? Some would say that's the arguments of political convenience. It's a handy handle.
See, and that's what them devils do. They try to minimize what happened to us. What was done to us has never been done to no other nation. All right, other nations were conquered, and when they were conquered, they were made to tax the conquering nation. They would be taxed, and they would have to have an occupying nation in their country, taxing them and ruling in their land. All right, but those people still could keep their customs. They still could keep their culture, all right? But when it came to us, what happened to us has never happened to another nation. They didn't only overtake our lands and conquer us. They took us out of our lands, stole our identity, and then gave us their identity, all right? They Hellenized our people, all right? When the Greeks, when the Romans overtook the Greeks still could keep their customs. The Greeks could still worship their gods. When the Greeks overtook the Persians still were able to worship their gods and keep their customs and their culture. But when they overtook us, they made a law, or that wretched Epiphanes made a law that if we were found keeping the laws, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shem Shai, it was a transgression. It was a law. If that law was broken, the penalty was death. That had never happened in no other country under the sun, and let's no other nation under the sun, and it's written. This is Baruch 2 and 2. We'll start from the top. Therefore, Yahweh have made good his word. All right. Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68. That's the word he made good on. those curses that will befall our people for transgression of his law, which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judged Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven. See, what happened to us never happened to none of those other nations throughout the archives of history that got conquered. What happened to us on Chateau slavery has never happened to nobody else like that, man. What happened to the Mayans, the Incas, the Aztecs? Look at Mexico, man. Mexico was from Texas all the way up down to the Seattle. All of their landmass gone. All right, now they're if they try to come in this country, they're told that they're illegal aliens. And shit like that never happened to those other countries. When the Greeks would come overtake a landmass, they would let the people still stay in their land. The people would just have to obey their laws. That's it. The people would just have to conform to their ways and pay draft, pay taxes. All right, but what happened to us has never happened to any other nation under the sun. To bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem. All right, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses. All right, 28, 58 through 68. All of those curses, man. Okay? So this devil try to minimize what happened to him, but y'all gonna pay. Y'all gonna pay.
Convenience. It's a handy handle to hang your argument on.
I think you're doing a great injustice to compare slavery with any other of the historical facts that you're mentioning.
I was including other forms of slavery. No, I was including other examples of slavery as well.
The so-called white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. All right? He's the father of lies. He's the king of semantics. Okay? This is what they do. A fork-tongued piece of shit. Okay? Check him out. You seeing him? He's in his element right now, minimizing it. All right? Saying, oh, I'm talking about all forms of slavery. Look, we don't need to hear about what happened to somebody else. We're talking about the injustice happened to us. Those Japs are still in their lands. All right? Yeah, you paid them reparations, but they still in their lands, ruling over themselves, okay? You're in our land, calling yourselves us, all right, ruling in our territory. Okay? So that's some bullshit.
To the indignity that slavery brought to people, that is the first thing. And I'll give you an example. Coming on to your program a few moments ago, you were speaking about net zero and climate justice. We are speaking about, the world is speaking today about climate justice and compensation and how we address the issues of climate change. And this is the problem. We live in a very unjust society. You know, we condemn completely the war in Ukraine. But if you look at the mobilization of resources in the war in Ukraine, in 2 years, you have mobilized more support for Ukraine than we have mobilized for Haiti for 60 years. You have mobilized more support for Ukraine than we have mobilized for Palestine for 20 years. You have mobilized more support for Ukraine in just 1.5 years than we mobilized to address the issue of hunger in Africa for 3 years. And that is the type of unjust way we have been dealing with these crises. And we are not going to tolerate the injustice that occurred during slavery to be compared with any other system. Slavery, we all agree, was the greatest injustice ever done to human beings.
It's written.
So we should not ever try to compare this to any other system. No. There is no other system.
See, he's saying it. He don't know that he's quoting scripture. That's what I just read in Baruch. What happened to the nation Israel has never happened to no other nation under heaven. What happened to those Gadites, the so-called Native Americans, has never happened to no other nation under the sun. What happened to the Taino Indians on the West Indian Islands? All right, they where are they? Where are they? All right, that has never happened to no other nation under the sun. The atrocities that happened to the 12 tribes of Israel can't be compared to no other nation under heaven. All right. And we want justice, and we will get our vengeance. We will have our justice, but we're not going to have it the way this guy is talking. You know what? Let's bring out the scriptures. Let's see what the Holy Bible has to say. Okay? We're not going to get it the way he's talking about, you know? He all right? He's going to the matrix for restitution and justice. You're not going to find it. The system that you're going to get justice is the same as the sons and daughters of the ones that committed the atrocity. He's very irrational. That's why our great king, the spirit put on the beloved prophet Micah and say, get out of this place because it will pollute you. His mind is polluted. He's not thinking rational. This is what the so-called white man think applies to him. Okay, let me get Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 19. Right? This is what he thinks. All right, Ezekiel 18 and 19. This is what they say. Yet say we, why? Do not the son bear the iniquity of the father? When the son have done that which is lawful and right, and have kept all my statutes, and have not and have done them, he shall surely live. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. All right? That does not apply to the so-called white man. The white man built off the foundations that his forefathers laid. Let me show you how this will have to happen for the so-called white man. I'll go back. This will have to happen for the so-called white man to be exempt. All right, for what their forefathers did, and they would never do that. This is Ezekiel 33 and 15. If the wicked restore the pledge, all right, they made all these covenants with the tribe of Gad, all right, and broke them. All right, what you pledged with them, you have to give that back. Okay, well, give the Native Americans all those covenants you broke, give them their land back, give them things that you stole from them. Okay, give again that he have robbed. He's robbed the so-called Native Americans of all their land. He's robbed the Taino Indians of all their land, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, the so-called Africans, who is the tribe of Judah, tribe of Benjamin, tribe of Levi. All right? You spoiled us. For the so-called white man to be redeemed, he would have to give all that he robbed and walk in the statutes of life and then start conforming to the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai without committing iniquity. All right? Give everything you stole back. All right? And then start living according to the commandments. That would never happen. Okay? So you're building off of the foundation that your forefather built. All right? You forwarded the affliction to the people your forefathers exploited and spoiled. He shall surely live. He shall not die. All right? But let me show you. Let me get this. This is what they were supposed to do. Second Chronicles 28, verse 20. All right? This is a beautiful example what they should do to be exempt. All right? This is Second Chronicles 28:19. For the Lord brought Judah low because Ahaz, the king of Israel, all right? For he made Judah naked and transgressed sore against the Lord. And Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, came unto him and distressed him, but strengthened him not. For Ahaz took away a portion out of the house of the Lord and out of the house of the king and of the princes and gave it to the king of Assyria, but he helped them not. Oh, wicked ass nigga. Okay, this was a wicked nigga, the father of Hezekiah. All right, now let's see what Hezekiah did when he came into power behind his father. Okay, all right. So you see, he took the Lord's most holy things and paid it to the king of Assyria, and he closed the house of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, for he sacrificed unto the gods of Damascus, which smote him. And he said, because the gods of the kings of Syria helped them. Therefore I will sacrifice to them, that they may help me. But they were the ruin of him and all of Israel. And Ahaz gathered together the vessels of the house of Yahweh, and cut in pieces the vessels of the house of Yahweh, and shut up the doors of the house of Yahweh, and made him altars in every corner of Jerusalem. And in every several city of Judah he made high places, and burnt incenses unto other gods, and provoked the anger of Yahweh, the power of his father. All right? Now let's see what his son did that came in the power behind him. All right, to show you, this is what the scripture means when the sins of the fathers will not be on the son. All right, Hezekiah came into power right behind his daddy. All the wickedness that his daddy sold, all right, Hezekiah restored it. All the high places that he built, Hezekiah tore them down. The doors of the Lord, house of the Lord that his daddy closed, he opened them. The so-called white man ain't do that. The things that they forefathers did, they forwarded it. They built up off of it. They were more sinister than their fathers before them. Okay? This is 2 Chronicles 29:1. Hezekiah began to reign when he was 5 and 20 years old, 25, and reigned 9 and 20 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Abijah, and the daughter of Zechariah. And he did that which was right in the sight of Yahweh, according to all that Dawidah his father had done. He, in the first year of his reign, as soon as he gave him the power, let's see what he did. In the first month, opened the doors of the house of Yahweh. His daddy closed them. You see? He walked in the ways of life, okay? He undid what his wicked father did. The so-called white man never did that. All right? They walked in the ways of their forefathers. And according to, in the first year, as soon as he came into power, in the first year of his reign, in the first month, as soon as he got in that seat of power, he opened the doors of the house of Yahweh and repaired them. What his daddy tore down, all right, he built up, okay? And he brought in the priests and the Levite and gathered them together into the east street and said unto them, hear me, ye Levites, sanctify now yourselves and sanctify the house of Yahweh, the power of your fathers, and carry forth the filthiness out of the holy place. For our fathers have trespassed and done that which was evil in the eyes of Yahweh, in the eyes of Yahweh our power, and have forsaken him, and have turned away their faces from the habitation of Yahweh, and turned their backs. You see? So he condemned what his forefathers did. He didn't synchronize what they did. He didn't go forward with what they did. That's how you are exempt from the sins of your father. The so-called white man does not fit that bill. All right? Let me get one more precept. This is 2 Kings 18. Still talking about the beloved brother King Hezekiah. Now it came to pass in the third year of Hoshea, the king, Hoshea, I think you pronounce that Yahushua, son of Eli, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. 25 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Abba, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that David, his father, did. He removed the high places. His daddy is the one that put up the high places. But what did he do? He tore them down. He break the images, cut down the groves. He break in the pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made. All right? For unto those days, the children of Israel did burn incenses to it and called it Nashatan. All right? So that's what you're supposed to do. All right? To rewrite wrongs and restore the pledge and give back what you stolen. All right? These Edomites, these so-called white people are not going to do that. They're not going to get his landmass back to Gad. They shit on Gad. They're pissing the wind on Gad. All right? They scoff Gad. They make fun of him. All right? They have a holiday, Thanksgiving, about taking Gad down. All right, so they're not giving them back what they're making merry about what they did. They made a holiday about slaughtering the tribe of Gad. Okay, that's what they did. Okay, so this is what's going to happen to them, and this is what that guy don't understand. that king of Ghana. This is what happened to those that steal men, that slaughter innocent men. All right. This is what happened to bloody men. This is Ezekiel 36:5. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh thy power. Surely in the fire of my jealousy, I have spoken against the residue of the heathen. The so-called white man is a heathen. And all of Idumea, that's the Greek way of saying Edom. This is talking about the nation of so-called white people. You are Idumeans, you are Edomites, which have spoken, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of their heart. They've took the Holy Land and said it's theirs now, and calling themselves the holy people, with the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. They slaughtered us, slayed us, all right, and stole our land. Let's see what the Lord says is going to happen to them. Is he going to try to get reparations for them? Because all of the gold and the riches of the earth, the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth that they have, that's ours. They took it from us. All right, look at this beautiful country before the so-called white man got into it. All right, it said that the Mississippi River was clear. You could see to the bottom of it. All right, Gad used to drink straight out of the river. If you drink out of that river right now, you're going to die. You're going to get some deadly degenerate disease, man. All right, down here in Louisiana, we don't even eat out the Mississippi River. Those not catfish, but the fish, they're toxic, okay? They're toxic. Because all those plants run that poison in the fish. So let's say you catch a bass out of the Mississippi River. You catch a cyclade, lawful fish out of there. Are you going to get mercury and all type of toxins in you because what the so-called white man did to this land, okay? And this is what the Lord say. In verse 6, prophesy concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys. All right? Thus saith Yahweh thy power, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because you have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, I have lifted up my hand, and surely the heathen that are about you shall bear their shame. Okay? They're going to bear their shame. What they did to us is going to happen to them. All right? This is Isaiah chapter 51. This is the reparations we're going to get. I'm going to start at verse 21. Thus saith the Lord. All right? This is Isaiah 51 and 21. Therefore now, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Okay? Our people are drunk with the philosophies, westernization, Hellenization. All right? The education of the so-called white man. They're drunk off of it. That president was drunk off of it. He's talking about getting money in billions of dollars when a dollar is at its weakest value it's ever been. Okay? He's not even talking about getting tons of gold. He wants their currency. That guy's out of his wits. He's drunk with wine. All right? Thus saith Yahweh, thy power. Thus saith Yahweh, and thy power that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken up thy hand of the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again, but I will put it in the hand of them that afflict thee, the so-called white man. All right? What they've done to us is going to happen to them, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, as the street, to them that went over. And that's what we're going to do to them. We're going to make them bow down, all right, that we may go over, all right? We're going to take those whose captors, let me get it, I don't want to vein jangle it. Isaiah 14 and 21, all right? And it's written, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, all right? What their forefathers did to the nation Israel is going to happen to them. All right, they're going to have to fit that bill, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill their face of the world with cities, all right? Those people over there in Great Britain, all right, those kings over there, they're going to get taken out of the power. The Queen, Prince Harry, all of them, they're going to get taken out of power. And they're going to get put in hardcore slavery. Those corporate bankers, the Rothschilds, the Gettys, the DuPonts, so on and so forth, all right, their dominion is going to get taken away from them. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon, the name and the remnant. Oh, Salaki. I just wanted to get that. All right. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the world with cities. Okay? All right, let's get another precept. They're going to fit the bill real soon in this day and time. All right? This is Isaiah 49. We'll go straight to the point. All right? What do I want? Isaiah 49 and 22. Thus saith Yahweh thy power, behold, I will lift up my hands to the Gentiles, and set up my standard to the people, and they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried away upon their shoulders. They're going to serve us, and kings shall be thy nursing fathers. The heathen, this is talking about the heathen. They're going to serve us. They all right? A nurse is a servant. And their queens, thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face to the earth, and lick up the dust of their feet, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, and thou shalt not be ashamed. Wait for me. Okay? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do to them what they did us to a double. That's the reparations we're going to get. We're going to get it back in blood. So with that, I want to give infinite honors to our Heavenly Father and our great King, Yahweh B'Shem, Yahweh Shai B'Shem, Harakakadash. Double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops, a great millstone. And salutation to our fellow laborers in the Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Kwam Yasharala, Abba Abba.